Gravity Falls ended 7 years ago back in 2016, but I still remember coming home from school and watching the final episode. I remember that I was genuinely upset and even depressed after the show ended. Gravity Falls was the first series that sparked my interest in animation, and not just animation but popular culture in general. I was rather indifferent before, to be honest. However, after the show ended, I haven't rewatched it, not even once, in 7 very long years. But finally, in the year of 2023, I decided to watch the show again, and see what I still love about Gravity Falls, and what I don't anymore. This is the first part of my retrospective video essay about Gravity Falls. This one is specifically about Season 1. The second part, respectively, will be about the second season of the show.
This is fun. What you two have.
Mabel, how long have you been standing there?
After watching the entire first season, the thing that bothers me most is female characters. They are very underdeveloped in Season 1. There are only 2 primary female characters, and those characters are Wendy and Mabel. And also several minor and background characters, which includes Candy, Granda, and Pacifica Northwest, as opposed to many more male characters. But it's not the main problem here. Female characters seem to have much less character development compared to male characters. Let's take Wendy Corduroy for example. She's probably my favorite character of the entire show, no exaggeration.
I am the lifeguard.
I make the rules, sucker! Boosh! She's attacking me with water!
Her role in the first season is to be a weird love interest for Dipper. She serves more as an instrument for his character development, rather than an independent character with her own interesting character arc. From the show, we don't even know anything about Wendy's family. We barely learn who her father is. We don't know anything about her interests, hobbies, what she likes, what kind of music she enjoys, or what kind of movies she prefers to watch. We have no idea. We only spend time with Wendy when Dipper is around. Or Robbie. Wendy does not have any significant character arc in the first season.
Ow! My eye!
Oh my gosh, Wendy, are you okay?
Does it look swollen?
Everything's gonna be fine!
After Dipper exposed Robbie for hypnotizing Wendy in the episode Boys Crazy, she ran away from both Robbie and Dipper, who was seemingly upset and disappointed at himself for acting too selfish and immature on Wendy, a girl she has a crush on, needed consolation and maybe a friend's supportive shoulder. She needed that more than anything else, however Dipper acted very insensitive toward her feelings. This moment taught him to be more empathetic, better understand the situation, and helped him to mature as a person. But after that moment we haven't seen Wendy even once in 3 remaining episodes of Season 1. And if I recall correctly, Dipper and Wendy only got a real chance to talk it over in the second episode of the second season. The first season simply is not interested in her as a character, she is an accessory. You know, anime has this exact problem, especially shonen like My Hero Academia, where female characters are mostly accessories to the main protagonist. Seeing how shallow Wendy was written is honestly disappointing. Hirsch could have had so much with her, there was enough room, 20 episodes is more than enough, but there simply wasn't such intention. There wasn't any intention to give Wendy character development. Wendy is a character function, that's all I can say. Mabel also has noticeably less development compared to Dipper. And this is actually understandable. Dipper and Mabel are based on Alex Hirsch and his sister Ariel, so obviously Hirsch is more interested in Dipper. Dipper is a reflection of Alex Hirsch in Gravity Falls. Therefore, he is a more complex character. Throughout the first 20 episodes, he grows as a person. He changes, he learns to accept himself and not be ashamed of the things he enjoys. Things like silly pop songs. He learns that just being himself is much better than simply following what other people expect you to be.
So maybe I don't have muscles or hair in certain places, and sure, when a girly pop song comes on the radio, sometimes I leave it on. Cause dang it, Top 40 hits are in the top 40 for a reason. They're catchy.
Dipper learns how to appreciate his family more after he finds out why Gruncle Stan was so hard on him.
So you see? That's why I'm hard on Dipper. To toughen him up, so when the world fights, he fights back.
Ultimately, Dipper at the end of the season 1 is more mature than Dipper in the first episode, when we meet him and Mabel for the first time. And speaking of Mabel, she's got less development compared to Dipper. Of course she learns her lessons too. She learns to appreciate Dipper more, but still she is mostly the same Mabel by the end of the season. When it comes to gender stereotypes, here I have mostly ambivalent feelings. On one hand, the show refutes many gender stereotypes, especially in the episode Dipper vs. Manliness, but on the other hand it reaffirms them over and over again. Let's take Mabel's friends for instance, Granda and Candy. They both like makeup, boy bands and teenage romance stories that obviously parody Twilight. Moreover, all this girly stuff is frowned upon, which again just serves to reaffirm a pretty misogynistic stereotype that everything made for teenage girls is bad, whether it's books, movies or music. You must have noticed that phrases like "this is made for 14-year-old girls" are thrown around as an insult. There is no analog with boys though.
Mabel, you know all those boy bands are fake, right?
Dipper's right. They're just a manufactured product of the bloated corporate music industry.
Another female character in Gravity Falls is Pacifica Northwest, who is shown to be a typical rich girl who has no appreciation for other people's feelings and thinks that she is superior simply because she has more money than others. Her parents have more money, to be more precise. However, Pacifica's character evolves in the second season, so I am not really complaining about it. Overall, she has a similar character arc to Emily Blythe from The Owl House, albeit she's just a background character. We will talk about it more in the second part of this video essay. My least favorite episode has got to be Carpet Diem. This episode is not bad, of course. It had plenty of extremely amusing moments, like the old man McGucket chasing Zeus in Waddle's body.
I'm a man trapped in a pig's body.
That's what they all say.
Help! Police!
But this episode is such a wasted opportunity. In this one, Mabel and Dipper switch bodies, so Mabel in Dipper's body has to spend time with Gruncle Stan and learn where the babies come from, while Dipper trapped in Mabel's body has to spend time with Granda and Candy on their sleepover. I thought Dipper would learn that there is nothing wrong with all this stereotypically girly stuff, but unfortunately this never happens and Dipper's opinion doesn't change much. So the episode just wastes this perfect opportunity, throws out of the window. Stan constantly spits some pretty sexy stuff. I know that he is not serious, that's just his character, but it feels pretty weird nonetheless. Especially after watching female-led shows like Amphibia and The Owl House. These cartoons show that girls are all different and work on breaking social stigma and stereotypes. Some girls are nerdy like Marcy or Luce, some are unapologetically cool and badass like Sasha Waybright. Compared to these two shows, female characters in Gravity Falls are just walking one-dimensional stereotypes. This wasn't intended to be reference to the Gulf War, seriously, it was just a coincidence. But Alex Hirsch learned his lesson from Dana Terrace, I'm sure I would after watching Mitchells vs. the Machines. I didn't notice all of this when I was younger, but I do now. Shallow female characters are the biggest criticism that I have for this show. Gideon is also an extremely annoying character, but he was designed to be this way. He was designed to disgust us. The only thing that bothers me is that he's like 9 years old and already has a super evil plan. On the other hand, Gravity Falls was supposed to be a kids show, so this should explain why the characters are so young.
Would it be a new low if I ate that? I'm just kidding, I'm totally eating it.
In this video essay, I've been mostly criticizing so far, because well, it's kinda boring to just praise something. And after all, Gravity Falls is a fantastic show that's worth all the praise it receives. The show has everything: incredible writing, endearing and funny characters, Easter eggs for fans to look for, humor that perfectly balances between absurdity and extreme cleverness.
Wanna hear a joke? Here goes. My ex-wife still misses me, but her aim is getting better. Her aim is getting better. You see, it's funny because marriage is terrible.
And of course, Gravity Falls feels like it has been created with huge love to this story. I loved Gravity Falls in the middle school, and I love it now. I have certainly come to appreciate certain aspects of the show even more now that I'm older and understand the nuances better, as well as animation overall. All in all, Gravity Falls is probably the most impactful Western animated show of the past decade. It inspired many other creators who are now working on their own projects. Gravity Falls made people realize that cleverly written shows that are both for kids and adults can be a massive hit. Not to mention that Gravity Falls, for worse or for the better, popularized the style of animation that many people call Cal arts these days. And that's just the first season of the show. Stay tuned, because the second part of Gravity Falls in Retrospective Video Essay is coming soon.
USA!
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 USA! USA! USA!